No, listening, if you're under 18, this is not for children, okay? I'm tired of not being able to walk past preschools. Hashtag sex offender by accident. Don't poop in a sandbox. No, listening, if you're under 18, thank you.
Niños, escuchen estas palabras mientras que salen de mis labios agrietos. El siguiente programa, aunque esto sea muy divertido para toda la gente, no es para los niños. Como un burro que busca agua fría, un balde, y eso le va a dar toda la satisfacción que necesita, esta agua no es para ustedes. Por favor, vayan donde sus padres. Ayúdelos a limpiar los baños. No vayan a escuchar esto. Es muy importante. Que Dios nos bendiga a los Estados Unidos. Gracias.
Brian McCarthy interview show. Adam is now drinking his Coke. Disco. Listen to that beat. Breaking it down in Uptown. Take your hand and touch it. Touch it. Now rub it. Brian McCarthy interview show. Listen to that beat. Touch it. Now rub it. I wish I could still drink.
That's the truth. Welcome, everybody. My name is Brian McCarthy. Sitting stage right is large and in charge, Adam Hineker.
That's right.
Or as we call him, the Adam Bomb.
The ad man.
I just thought of
you
that.
You called me the ad man earlier.
I know.
And I feel like that could be a fun.
Well,
it could be a fun morning.
In the ad man. Hey, what are you selling to me?
We're gonna ride of the ad man.
Like
do you want to be the guy that talks like this, or do you want to be the guy that talks like this?
Can I just be the guy with the soundboard? Like
yeah,
always,
yeah.
Like I'll buy that for $1. Right. Just like
yes. A lot of Big Lebowski drops.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Right. The rug really pulls the house together. We should have. It'd be fun though to have drops that are just like completely awful. Like
I feel like I have a couple of drops.
Like
here.
Schindler's List. I could have saved more.
Well, I got.
I could have saved more.
I got.
What do you have?
Can we have? Drops? Oh, we got James.
What's your language? Please excuse me. I'm a guest. It's hard work.
We got James's ringtone.
Okay,
that's
good.
Drop
Let's just play that on repeat. Everybody, welcome to the show. I know if you're listening, it's a podcast and you don't really care, but if you're watching live, we're doing a show Wednesday instead of Friday.
Well, if you're listening to it as a podcast, it may have popped up in your feed a couple of days early.
Oh,
that could be curious.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
All right. I'm not holding on to this thing.
No,
I'm putting it right out.
It's too hot to handle, too hard to hold. Right. They're called the Ghostbusters, and they're in control. Little Bobby Brown for you folks. So that's the deal, because Friday is the New York Comic Con, and I'm going to be there in some incarnation. Be funny, like my wife I'm like, hey, good news! I decided I want to be Boba Fett.
Yeah, where is this going to progress to? Other than you living,
well, I'll tell you one
alone.
Thing. Yeah, and everyone, feel free to jump in if you've got anything you want to add to this or whatever it is. And then, if you go on Etsy, and I know everyone knows what Etsy is, and forgive me for like acting like such a hashtag of boomer, but it's amazing because like I went on Etsy and I was like, I wonder if there's anybody out there that makes like a RoboCop and
costume.
Well, it's more than a costume.
Sorry,
dude,
that's like I call the.
Yeah, don't make this sound ridiculous. Come on, how dare you? Yeah. Well, no, it's a
excuse me, server.
Yeah. If you go on,
not a waiter.
Yeah. If you go on Etsy and you look for a RoboCop, oh yeah, it's like $9,000, and somebody and it looks great. I mean, to
when
be honest,
look up like realistic or like how would you
RoboCop cosplay?
Cosplay
Babysitter. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, RoboCop cosplay. It comes up immediately.
Well,
and there's also
I'm only getting to like
the
party warehouse ones.
No, you got to go price high. Are you on Etsy? Or are you Googling?
No, I just Googled it.
Oh, you got
now. I'm on Etsy now.
Yeah, you got to. Etsy's where the party is.
Oh, okay.
That's where like it's. You know what it is? It's people have 3D printers. And they
I got $400.
No. There's some big
maybe scroll way down.
Yeah, there's some big ticket items in there.
Okay, I'm gonna go price high
to low. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, they're like you can either have a RoboCop costume. No, I'm saying costume like a dork, and or you can buy a used Hyundai Sonata. It's up to you.
Sure.
But I mean, there's also like Iron Man. People get into stuff very, very seriously. But I think I think the advent of the 3D printer has really, made
Sure. Yeah, because you can print whatever.
made a lot of people's childhood dreams come true.
I made a bread maker.
What?
No, that's not.
No, I don't know.
They really do that.
Remember how everyone you had to have a
3D
bread?
printed in an
Anything
air
come
fryer.
up or like just kind of
Nothing over $400.
Oh, that's weird. All right,
Yeah.
don't
maybe
worry.
they sold out in the time, or maybe you were on
It's
something
like
else.
One guy, he's like,
yeah, I've seen 150.
no, there are like full suits.
There's
also,
5 pages though, so you probably
you-
went deeper.
Oh
into
yeah.
the-
There's also a Master
Crazy.
Chief from Halo. That's also really expensive. You know what isn't expensive? It's Foghorn Leghorn. You just kind of I'll sit.
I said, boy.
Yeah. So tomorrow is Thursday. It's the first day of Comic-Con.
Oh, hey, Nick, our boy Nick says, as asking if you're going to Comic-Con on Saturday, said my
Yes.
brother and his friends always ditch me, so I need someone to hang out with.
Well, I don't want to make
be there
this.
Saturday.
I don't want to make this weird, Nick, but I tried to hang with you last year, and you were like, I believe
year?
you. Yeah.
Once wait at Comic-Con.
I remember Nick. But okay, maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly, but I thought Nick was at Comic-Con last year, and
Oh yeah, that does sound familiar.
and it just did. Yeah,
Well, he was probably a lost. It looks like he gets.
Yeah.
he was
He was-
abandoned.
yeah, he was in the security office, like sitting by.
Yes.
They gave him a coloring book.
They didn't page you over the loudspeaker.
No, yeah, exactly. Just gave him like a copy of highlights. He's like, here you go. And I'm like, it's like when
The Golf Digest.
yeah, this is like me being the last kid getting picked up at lacrosse practice.
Mhm.
Yep. I know what you feel, Nick. So to answer your question, Nick, yes, I will be at Comic-Con.
Well, the two of you should meet up.
I would love to. On Saturday, my friend Paco will be with me. Paco, I will be stormtroopering. So I'm not going to have my phone and stuff in my pocket, but just text because Paco will have it. And he's also Hispanic, so they'll have a lot to talk about.
Okay,
And we
sure.
Talk about
Latin heritage.
yeah, pastoles and things of that
Okay.
nature.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, so Comic-Con is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I know a lot of you have been following with fierce and enthusiasm my journey through the 501st, which is the organization where you get approved and then you go to children's hospitals and I don't know, like a March of Dimes things, and it's like a charity thing, but you have to look exactly like the character and you get approved. So it's a fairly arduous process, I'll be honest with you. And I mean, I started as Darth Vader, which the hubris of that, apparently. I mean,
Is that kind of that's
talk about
ambitious?
Talk about Icarus flying too close to the sun.
I guess I could see that.
Yeah. Well, there's just
it's a big undertaking.
Yes. And these guys get into like the width of your belt. And it becomes like, and again, I do understand it. I do. So, but it is kind of funny because I started buying this stuff and I learned the hard way that when you buy it, you have to sort of like, you got to line up whatever, even if you're buying something, say like I did, like from Argentina, I brought Darth Vader gloves from Argentina, and you had to make sure that the amount of like, I don't know, like the kind of the or leather kind of like flames, not flames, they're like leather pieces on the side of the gloves. It's supposed to be like 4 and they're supposed to be 1.5 inches long, but because it's Argentina, they use that stupid Celsius system. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit and Celsius.
Yeah. 7 meters long or something. So, you gotta, and I know a lot of this stuff is supposed to be DIY, do it yourself.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sorry, I cannot spend my Saturday with a hairdryer and a big piece of PVC, outside, listening to my Journey mixtape, trying to like, form my. So when the Stormtrooper thing, I ended up buying it. Shout out RS Props, and so I've been going back and forth with the guy that's the head of the Empire City Garrison, which is the 501st. I know. Trust me, I know. I know.
So
it goes
elaborate.
and goes. I know. Plus, and also he's a very nice guy. So, although I never really talked, I've only had an email exchange back and forth. But it's the kind of thing where I finally I should be up to speed, like in terms of the Stormtrooper, because there are, oh God, I'm sorry, there are 3 different iterations of the Stormtrooper outfit. There's A New Hope Hero,
Okay.
which is up close, and there's A New Hope Stunt, which is basically stormtrooper, but it's the outfit's not as it's really has to the armor's the same, but it has to do with like the belt and gloves. They tend to be so it's and there's ESB, Empire Strikes Back, Stormtrooper. Now I must confess, after trying these things on a couple of times, I'm partial to the ESB.
You're an ESB guy.
It feels the holsters on the right. It just feels a little sexier. I don't know why. There's something about it.
Feels right. Plus, sometimes you can't always put to words.
No,
these things.
It's an intangible.
Survey.
Yeah.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you say?
I don't know. Plus, it's my favorite of the movies, so maybe like that informs my decision. But
that could probably have something to do with it.
So,
yeah.
In order to be certified, for lack of a better term, you have to get in your thing, and then you sort of reach out to your local garrison.
Okay, then, the local chapter.
Well,
local
no, it's a goddamn garrison. Okay, don't make fun. Don't get me kicked out before I'm in. All right. And
oh yeah, do you think they would use this?
What
will there be a hearing and will
it's
you
like the Council of Nine? Like they bring me into somebody's club basement out in Great Neck, and they're like, yeah, it's kind of. I'm like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas, you know. And,
you're not quite sure. Not sure if I'm getting made or if I'm getting whacked.
I call it. Yeah, you're at a payphone waiting. You're like, he's getting his button. He's getting his button.
Wait, so the garrison, that's like the chaplain. That's like the
no. A garrison is a military outpost. That's what a garrison is.
Oh, I thought the garrison. This was like a.
You're thinking of the guy from Lake Wobegon,
the bishop. No, yeah, the garrison keeler.
The garrison keeler. Oh, funny day on Tatooine.
They're gonna quiz you on rhubarb pie.
Yes. Uncle Ben made some rhubarb pie and gave it to Luke after the moisture farm.
Mm-hmm. I do have an uncle that's a bachelor farmer. He always talked about the bachelor farmers, like the Lutheran.
Oh, really?
Bachelor farmers.
That seems like
And I do have an uncle. My dad's youngest brother is a bachelor farmer.
If that's not a euphemism, I'll eat my hat. Bachelor farmer.
It probably is. I was too young to read between the lines.
So to circle back to this,
okay. So the garrison is that's the okay.
Yes,
got you. But is there a person in charge? Like, is there a head guy? What's he called? Is what I'm interested in.
Steve. I don't really know.
You know, like, does he have a?
Oh my God, yeah.
If like you look, the bishop of sort of.
Yes. If you look at his email signature, it basically says, it's a rank.
Oh wait, didn't you? Forward me. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. So it's a
rank. I might
rank,
have that answer right here.
And then in his in his email signature, it breaks down what costumes he is allowed to wear. This guy, it's kind of like having laurels on your on your epaulets. You know what I mean?
This is Steve, right?
Yes.
Empire City Garrison.
Yes, that's the one.
Captain of the Guard.
Yep. They were so far so good.
FISD detachment.
Don't say too much. I don't want to give away who.
Okay. I won't give the.
I don't want the Rebel Alliance showing up at his house to take,
Okay, so he's the captain of the guard. That's what I was looking for. Because when you said garrison, I thought that meant kind of the.
No, a garrison is a place where it's a military outpost. That's what that name is.
So I only captain of the guard is who you. Now, is there a test like when you become an American citizen? Or?
I'm not. What there is, I'm not. You mean that's some sort of trivia test?
Like, do you have to have all the lore kind of? Like, do you have to know all the things about?
If I have to spell Tatooine, I'm fucked.
Right.
I don't know how many Tattoine, I think.
Tatooine.
Yeah. No, I think I honestly I filled out the application. So that's done. And I have been going back and forth. Because what you do is you take all these photos, right? And you stand there, front photo, left photo, right photo, side, back, close up on this, close up on that, show them the gun, put the gun in front. Close up on the helmet. Bye, honey. Helmet on the left, helmet on the right, helmet on the back. They needed one. And by the way, a helmet is called a bucket, just so you know.
Right. I feel like we talked about that.
We did. I think we did.
Bucket.
So I know we're kind of skating around something we've already talked about. So I am sorry about that. But
no, I don't remember if we talked about that on the show, though. That could have just been one of our
hot
lunch conversations.
Yeah, our post sex talks.
Yeah, it could have been pillow talk.
Yeah, it could have been. You're tugging on my nipple with your chest on my stubbly chest, or your head on my stubbly chest. So anyway, so I submitted all the photos, and I thought, like, all right, I'm done. Like, whatever. I did all because I got the outfit. My daughter helped me put it on. and there you're good to go. And then sent him the pictures, and he came back and he was like, okay, nah, you need to do this, and this picture. We didn't see this. It's not a good result. So I was like, okay, fine. Because I get it. You don't want people looking, the whole idea doesn't work unless everybody looks like perfect. I understand. So fine. So, so then I made more pictures, sent them back, and then got an email back, and he was nice about it. He was like, look, you're pretty much there. But the thing is that I want to get certified for the ANH and the ESB.
Oh yeah, you got to get dual certification.
Well, while I'm there, I mean,
otherwise it's like not even worth.
I know you're having fun with me, but no, but like
it's very hard to not.
I know.
I am having a great time with this.
You're doing an admirable job.
I really enjoy all of your interests. And I support your interests.
Two of them. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
I'm like a good stepdad.
Yeah, I like mompov.com and stormtroopers. So I went back and I looked at. He sent him more pictures, and he was like, all right, you're almost there. This. And then I sent it back, and I may be throwing an extra exchange in there, but I think he finally got back to me with an email, and he was like, all right, I need this picture, and this picture. So I got my daughter the other night. This is only like 4 nights ago. And I was like, all right, listen, we're going for broke. So I keep everything in this wheeled Rubbermaid. Looks like a cooler, but yeah, cooler full of awesome outfits.
Right.
No hot dogs in here. The only hot dog is wearing the outfit. And then so anyway, so we go. So now we go, and so I sent in all of my pictures, and so now I'm waiting. And when they gave me the, when you get the application, they do say things like, why do you want to join the 501st? And I'll be honest, because
that's got to be a real exercise in restraint for you,
very much
because
so.
I can imagine every instinct would go of what you would like to say goes against what the correct answer for a bunch of like guys that take this very seriously, because I would imagine they wouldn't appreciate
I will
your candor.
And this might screw the whole pooch for me, but in the interest of the show, I will share with you what I wanted my wife to write down. Because they say,
why dictated it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I said, why do you want to be in the 501st? And I said, why don't you write, I'm not allowed to be around children, but I feel like if they can't see my face, no one's going to know.
Oh, no. Wait, did that actually?
No.
Okay.
Jocelyn was like, you realize you're just not like, you're going to get
you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes.
You may actually, we may actually get like a wellness check.
Can I be honest with you, Adam? It'd be nice to finally get kicked out of something on my own terms.
Yeah.
And not
really
just kicked out of something
kamikaze
because I'm like in it with both feet.
Yeah.
I mean, to drive it home, I don't like when you compare yourself, I'm talking about when people compare themselves to other people. But I think when I die, hopefully in like 9 years, when I die, I will, they can say on my tombstone, although please just throw me in the dumpster. I don't even care. It'll say, Brian McCarthy, the only man who is ever kicked out of a transgendered Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Like, I mean, I was kicked out of the Friars Club.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
And I don't know if this makes you feel better or worse, but I think trans 12-step, it's probably not hard to get. I think they're probably pretty fussy. They're probably pretty particular. So that one, I think you can kind of, that's a wash.
Yes. Okay. I
Equinox.
Oh my God. I forgot. I almost forgot about Equinox. But the thing about, the transgendered AA meeting, I can see, but I wasn't even given like a, hey, because I was just starting
going a different direction.
Yeah. When you just get out of rehab, you're supposed to go 30 for 30, which are like 30 meetings in 30 days. Right. So I was dutifully trying to do that. And this was in January. It was fucking 6 degrees out. And, and the guy the head of the thing knew I was doing my 30 for 30. So instead of like, it would have been nice if the guy came over and it was like, or gal, or
gave
them,
you a little grace considering
if they came over.
Sure.
Thank you very much. But I do think it's funny that when they see the problem, the reason why I got kicked out of the transgendered AA meeting was we went around with and you're supposed to say your pronouns around the circle. And I said, hi, my name is Brian. I'm an alcoholic. I'm not gay, but my shoes sure are. And I lifted my pants up because I was wearing Chelsea boots.
Yeah,
like a mod.
Yeah,
like an English mod.
I do love a Chelsea boot.
Oh, they're comfortable. They're comfortable, and these are the new buck ones, the ones from the Irish leather company. I forget the name of it, but these are really good ones. So I think it's funny that
that was it.
That was it. That's all it took.
My shoes are gay.
I think they were chomping at the bit. But also, I believe that the leader of this AA group, the fact that I brought in homemade cookies 2 weeks in a row, that my my binary. I'm trying to say my wife has like a vagina she was born with.
Yeah, that's cisgendered.
Okay, cisgendered. Sorry. I didn't go to Yale for pronoun college.
Sorry, was that too microaggressive of me? Was I being microaggressive?
Well, yeah, oh, if only. So anyway, so the guy I think I like to think in my mind that that I threatened him. I think my charisma and the fact that it would have been, how funny would it have been though if like I'm in this AA transgender meeting and like it gets more and more less transgender because I'm for some reason, like maybe the guy thought I was like some kind of a bro or something, or like, and I just like all of a sudden guys started showing up in like Patagonia vests and like with like those big water cups with the straw. We have like 40 of them here.
Yeah, the big travel mugs.
Yeah, but they're called, so there's a name of them. Halos or Hulus. Not a Hulu. Halo, Hulu, Rudu, Voodoo, Voodoo, Hoodoo.
Not sure.
Yeah, it's a brand name. So anyway, yeah, like I just start inviting other. I'm like, guys, come on, this is fun.
Sure,
we'll get
all the guys.
Yeah, we'll go
night away from the wives.
Yeah, because it turns into like the Jets and the Sharks. Like
I feel like there is a like a real faction, and by that I mean large percentage of.
By the way, thank you for not saying faction. Okay, I just want to say thank you for that because it was right in my brain.
Yeah, I weirdly didn't even think of that. But people that I think it's because, not to like over intellectualize this, but I think it's like you live a life of just everybody constantly fucking with you,
right?
And then you come to a place where like a guy is sort of just innocently goofing around,
right?
And you automatically think he's like fucking attacking you because you're just so used to being on your heels.
Yes.
I've had a lot of that in my life where I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, you got to calm down. I'm actually not fucking with you.
Right.
I have no issue.
Yes.
But,
no, you're absolutely
walks
right.
like a duck.
But it's also the kind of thing, it's kind of like what we were talking about last week with James Camacho. By the way, thank you again to James. If you haven't listened to the show, it's a pretty good one.
What a sweet boy.
Sweet boy. Easy on the eyes, too. So anyway, we're talking about the Comedy Cellar table. And like, it's you're sort of, and again, I'm speaking, this is from my own personal experience. Like, you're people, you're bullied or whatever, and you finally get to a place where you're by some measure
kind
of it
top dog.
You're in your own universe you are. So now you're like, well, this is where I am. So in a weird way, it's like it just makes me laugh. It's just the human condition because like it's like when you're like AA meetings, it's supposed to be like all are welcome. And they actually say that in the beginning. But again, I don't want to be. I mean, I guess I could have just showed up next week and been like, not leaving, call the police, not leaving. What are you going to do? What, you call Bill W. and fucking have him rise from the dead, right? I crack open a beer and I go, look, it's near beer. Look at that. I can still stay.
Taunting.
Yeah, exactly. I keep like studiously adjusting my jock. I'm like, oh, look, my male penis is stuck in my leg. Sorry, excuse me, everybody.
My male penis that I'm keeping.
That
you're just like, what? This guy is just unnecessary.
That I was either born with or I hate. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever you guys are up to in here.
Right.
So anyway,
I had one time.
Go ahead.
My girlfriend has this one acquaintance that is a trans. So I guess trans. I don't even know if they are trans. I don't know what's going on with this person. Because like whoever they are, they're really popping a wheelie with like they're really fucking with gender.
Sure.
Because born a man, but then you got like stubble and a fucking crop top, and it's fucking all over the place.
Yeah.
But they asked me, and I'm just gonna say they, because I don't know what if
Go ahead.
this is even
so far you're
trans, whatever.
Yep.
But they asked me what my pronouns were, and I was so taken. I've never had anybody ask me that, because it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
And
you're like,
and I like chuckle. I was so taken aback, and I chuckled, and I said, brah. And then it was a beat, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I offended this person, but he was cool. Actually, I think he's just he's a guy, but he just is fucking.
But he wears
he's fucking out there. He like does drag kind of, but like doesn't really try to look like a one. I don't know. It's fucking all over the place. He's the guy that invited me to the gay orgy.
Oh,
I told you one day I won't say this person's name, but my
late Rick
girlfriend,
Ocasek?
my girlfriend was like, hey, Jimmy, we'll just call him Jimmy.
Sure.
Jimmy,
last name Crack Corn,
asked if he invited us to a gay orgy. If she was kidding.
Well, but not kidding about being invited to it.
Yeah, not kidding about being invited, but she was kind of like, she was like, Jimmy said, if we're free, they're having a gay orgy. He wanted to make sure I invited you, and then I could be your plus one. She said, invited me, who I've only met this person one time. It was kind of like tongue in cheek, and I said,
so to speak,
and I said, tell him, if we have time after church.
There you go. That's good. Well,
if we can make it after church.
Here's my question. Your girlfriend is kind of and these are sort of your words, like kind of a freak, like kind of likes to mix it up. Do you think she would be sexually turned on if she saw you getting it on with like just being plowed by a group of dudes, just laying on your stomach?
She told me that, and this is like the ultimate sort of,
yes,
I don't know, kind of like conundrum. I don't know what you would even call it, but it's like the ultimate, like, I'm giving you something, but I'm not giving you anything. She said, you can, if it's with a trans woman or a guy, I don't consider it cheating. You can go to town.
Gee, thanks.
Like I could just whip it out with any number of our guests and just get blown and get you demonetized. She would have no problem with it.
Well, I certainly would. I need this $14 a month.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that I know.
But I'm also like, I feel like if I was having a great time and I'm going out and like coming home with guys with like midriffs on, like she would be jealous.
That's like taking somebody who's like severely lactose intolerant to like the Ben and Jerry's tour,
right,
or something like
all the cheesecake you can eat.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah, it's kind of that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's not really giving me anything.
I don't know, dude. I say take her up on it just once, just one, and not trans woman, just a dude, just a big, like a bear of a guy.
Joke's kind of on me then. I feel like maybe I didn't ask her. We didn't get into sort of the detail. Do they have to have?
Go ahead.
Can they have bottom surgery? You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean like how much? So you think this offer might be rescinded the closer they are to an actual woman?
Yeah, or like, what if I just titty fuck somebody?
Okay, but
that count?
Somebody born as a woman? You mean? Is that what you're talking about?
Trans woman.
Oh, well, she's already said that's fine, right? I mean, that seems like that's already.
I feel like she'd get weird if I actually took her up on it. She knows I never will.
Yeah, well, you know what? Don't write checks with your mouth. Your ass can't cash.
Listen, I would love if I got fucking hit on the head and woke up and was just fleeing.
I know.
Gay.
It would be so.
It would be a great situation for me.
Very much.
It's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. And it is something that it's not like it isn't. No matter how many times religious people will say it, it's certainly not learned behavior.
No.
So, but it is interesting with getting kicked out of all that stuff. It's like,
Ovo actually was wondering about the Friars Club thing. He's like, I don't.
Okay. So
I don't remember this story either. So,
right. Well, I'll tell you the story. So, years ago, I decided this is probably, oh my God, I can't even fucking, so old. It's depressing.
Friars has been closed for a while, right?
Yeah, you know who initiated me? Shecky Roman. Yeah. No. Bud Abbott. No, I was okay. So about 17 years ago, I was friends with some. I decided I wanted to join the Friars Club, and at the time I was working in pay-per-view television. And the Friars Club, for those of you who don't know, is an actual townhouse. It's on 54th Street between Madison and Park.
Where I met Jeff Gurian.
It's where you met Jeffrey. I don't think he goes by Jeff.
I call him Jeff because we're pretty tight.
Yeah, that's a ball. That's a ball I won't throw.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not a lot of people know that.
No, he's
Jeff Gurian.
He's like a Thomas. You can't call him Tom. You know, he's like, I'm Thomas. I'm like, okay, I guess so.
I bet he would get weird if I was like, hey, Jeff, can you pass the salt?
You're not big enough. That was my favorite line.
You're not big enough.
Yeah, you're not big enough.
So you're at the Friars Club.
Well, hold on. So I'm just going to tell you about the Friars Club. So Friars Club, and just so you know, it's an actual townhouse, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You go in, there's a bar in the front, the Billy Crystal bar. Get it? And there's pictures of Billy Crystal all over the bar. I used to make the joke, and this used to bust everybody up. I would go, you've had too much to drink when Billy Crystal starts looking handsome. Oh, man, they would fucking, Rob Reiner would throw a cocktail napkin at me. A pitted olive.
They renamed the bar after you.
It
was such a good joke.
It's and stainless steel on the front. I mean, it's like this used to be somebody's house, whatever, a million years ago. And then there's a dining room in the back and very good food. Then you go upstairs. There's a pool room. There's a couple of bathrooms up there. Let's just say bathrooms are party friendly. Okay, but I'll leave it right there. And then
nice flat toilet tank.
Lockable. And a contrasting toilet tank. It's black, which is good because you'll tend to lose white on white.
Sure.
And then third floor is a gym, which I gotta be honest with you, it was like Nautilus equipment from like 1975. Remember that Olivia Newton-John video, Let's Get Physical?
Yes.
It was like that stuff. And there were like 3 pieces. It was like one of those machines that's like a big belt and you sit in and it shakes you like blah, 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 blah.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, exactly. And then also it had a steam room, which I went in there a bunch of times. And so, all right, anyway, so that's what this, the idea is, it is a private club, like, any other private club, like for engineers, or there's something in New York called the Explorers Club. I guess if you're an explorer, is that even a thing? I don't know. But, and you can have different memberships. There's professional membership, which is like basically you have to get, and it's like a club. You have to get sponsored by 2 people, and then you have an interview, and then after your interview, they come in. And this club, all of the members, okay, almost exclusively were over the age of like 60 or 65. I mean, It is an older. Jeffrey Gurian was one of the younger members, and I remember Jeff Ross showed up and was like, he was like the hot young guy, and now he's 60. So like, young guy. Yeah. So anyway,
the hot, bald,
exactly.
chubby young guy
with a 14-year-old girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yep. He eluded that.
Yeah.
Those charges.
He really stepped deftly over that, didn't he? Anyway, so Ovio's like, why did I ask about this? But anyway, so you have to get the 2 letters, and that's it. So, and they have a professional membership, and that's pretty expensive. I don't know how much it is, but there's always an initiation fee, and then there's a monthly fee for you have to use like a food credit, right? You have to agree to spend $200 or whatever it is. But there's also a performers membership, okay? Ooh. And if you have 2 recommendations from performers, and you can, although they never actually asked me for this, prove, I don't know how, I mean, with like a W-2 or something, that you're a performer.
Sure.
I just made up a business card that said clown for parties.
Yeah.
Right? Here you go.
Comic Sans.
Yeah. Clown for parties, right. Bubble machine on request. So you do that. Okay. Now, and so I actually put together like a dossier for my interview, and I was like, because I had like my W-2s from doing pay-per-view, or my, and so anyway, so I had 2, and the thing that's great about a performer's license is when you're a performer license, there's no membership, there's no initiation fee. And your monthly is like $200, maybe even $100 a month. It's pretty much like free to join the club. But you have to be under the age of 40, which, at the time I was well under, thank you very much. But And you have to be able to like prove in some capacity, because that's how they get like young blood into the club.
Sure.
So I was like, all right, I'll just fucking do it. And it took no time at all. I had a swearing in ceremony with me and like 20 other people. It was like a Bhumi Shriners temple or something.
Now, did you have friends that had done this? What sort of compelled you?
Well,
I mean, it's a famous thing. I'm not.
Well, I will say at the time, like I have friends of mine that are not in show business, and they're also members of clubs that are in the city, like the University Club or the Brook or whatever. So my idea was I would always go to their clubs. And when you go to somebody's club, they pay. So the idea was, I was like, look, if I can just join this.
Sure. You wanted a club.
Yeah.
To sort
of. And I was living in Brooklyn and
reciprocate.
And I thought, like, in my mind, I was like, oh, I'll just like, if I need to go in and take a dump or something, or go to have a schwitz.
Yeah. 100%.
Maybe I'm hungry. I want a stuffed cabbage, I will say the food was on point, because it's a lot of Jews, and Jews, good food at the Jewish clubs, so that was my thought. And it was kind of like, and I spent $100 at the time, $100 in a bar, no problem. So got it. And I will say this: those drinks are monsters, man. They make a big old bourbon and ginger ale. Yeah, the bartender is this Croatian guy, and he used to say, "I like when you come in there because you actually drink, because it's like a lot of like older Jewish guys.
Big, they just want like a club soda. Yeah. That's just to get a stain out of their tie.
Can I get a whiskey sour, please? But no whiskey, just a sour,
virgin whiskey sour,
and no maraschino cherries. I can't digest them. I always eat the stem, and then it's in my stool."
Mm-hmm.
Want to see a stool sample? And he pulls out like a tiny little stool, like a joke.
Yes.
Here's my stool sample. Baby. So anyway,
it's a tiny stool, it's a stool sample.
You get it? A larger stool wouldn't be this one. It's actually,
if you order a full size, you'll get a bit larger version of this. But stool sample.
You thought I was going to pull out a piece of poop. You're crazy. Not in the Billy Crystal bar.
No.
So anyway, I decided, like, okay, great. And I had my interview, and that was fine. And then I had my 2 people that recommended me, and that was fine. And then Freddie Roman, actually was the guy that inducted me into the Friars Club.
All right.
Me and a bunch of guys, like I mentioned, and women too. Hey, we're letting broads in now. Oh boy.
Anybody we would recognize in your class?
No. You mean like other like
no, because they're all performers, right?
Yes. Well, no. Everyone there, it was like people that were just becoming members. So they were like professionals. There were me. It was like there are different memberships. There's like professional membership.
Oh, okay. So these weren't all. Not everybody were on the perform. It wasn't you and Elon Gold or something.
Yeah, it wasn't like me putting in my best squirting flour.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Right. My wife's like my bib for my tuxedo rolls up.
Work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So, any knock jokes that you want to tell us before we let you in this club? Ian Finance is over there just blowing anybody, because that's what he does. Does this get me in the club? No, but sure, why not? Put a cigarette in his forehead. Anyway, so they go, and so I did that, and I got in. Okay, great. I'm in, fine. And I would periodically take friends there for dinner. And my wife, Jocelyn, and I would take, she worked on 57th Street. So we'd go there, we'd bring people, blah, blah, blah. It was like, it was kind of a fun little dumb thing. They would periodically have
mixers or something, or some kind of event,
like sort of symposiums,
Would they actually do roasts there? I know the Friars Club kind of put on roasts, but I don't know if they happen there.
They would. That's kind of what
they're known for.
There's a room in the back that is, I'm sorry, second floor. There's kind of like an event space where they would have, various things happening. And for example, I know that the late great Don Buchwald was roasted at the Friars Club.
Okay. So the publicist guy. Well, is it that Buchwald?
Well, he owned Buchwald.
The Buchwald.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Right. Exactly. So that's
a talent agency or whatever.
That's
more what it is.
So, for example, he would have a professional membership. So, and for those of you who might really, in the very beginning of like all of these roasts on Comedy Central, they were the Friars Club roast, and the Friars Club basically had an agreement with Comedy Central, and they would shoot these roasts, like the roast of Don, who's the basketball, I'm sorry, a boxing guy with the tall hair, black guy.
Oh, Don King.
Yeah. Like the roast of Don King.
Sure.
And they would have it at the Hilton where Jocelyn used to work. And you would go there and there'd be like 600 people in the audience. Tickets for $200 each. And then you would go and it'd be like food and booze and whatever in the middle of the day. And that was Friday. And they shot those for Comedy Central. And I don't know how that deal got fucked up because it feels like they did 3 or 4 of those. And then all of a sudden they stopped being Friars Club roast.
Central.
I think Comedy Central was so tired of dealing with Freddie Roman. He's like, so what is this? A cable channel? What are we doing? Do you need rabbit ears to watch this Comedy Centrals? So, Milton Berle, you're like, oh, you're in this meeting.
They probably realize, like,
is this going to be?
We don't necessarily need all these old Jews to.
Are you going to make this program in color? Right. We got a cigarette sponsor. Lucky Chesterfields, right? woman comes out in a Chesterfields box. Yeah. Hello, yeah. So what's the charity? War bonds? Yeah, we're gonna get the Kaiser. Anyway, so all right. So I got kicked out. So what happened was, and by the way, on this story, I don't want to bury the lead, but I actually quit. So
you actually quit? Okay,
this
so
one
you
I
did quit on your terms.
But
wait, but can I ask you this? Did you have other friends that were friars, or?
No, not
no,
really.
You weren't really friends with anybody.
I mean, I knew people that were like, I knew the 2 people that it was Jody Fisher and somebody else because I didn't know the other person. She just got them to write me a thing, but I knew people that knew me. Like if I was there, I might see somebody. Oh, hi, Brian. Hi,
Okay, whoever. But this wasn't because you had like a group of friends that were friars.
No,
okay,
it wasn't.
Curious as to what sparked it.
My virulent anti-Semitism kept me away from. I would be very, and I used to bring Paul Dinn in, and I brought Paul Dinn in a bunch of times, and we would always have fun, and we would get drunk and eat and have ice cream and blah blah blah, and but and I used to see the only person that I saw there with any regularity was Jackie the Joke Man Martling.
I could see him being one of those,
and he guys. And I, we don't. He would see me and then kind of know that. I would just say, I would always go, hi, Jackie, hey, whatever. And so anyway, so I'm a member, blah, blah, blah. So one night I decide that I'm with some friends and I'm like, by the way, I know this is going to sound like a Seinfeld episode, but I assure you this absolutely happened. So we walk into the club and I went to the host. There was this French guy and I believe his name was fucking Pierre. I'm not making that up. Bald guy, older guy. And he's the manager of the club and he comes right up to me because not only am I one of the younger performers, but I'm actually spending like real money there. Like I think a lot of the performers, they kind of join and, they just don't, like I was there when I joined for the first couple of months, I was there a lot. And I remember I went in one time and the French guy was like, hey, Brian, you know what we have? No, we have Wi-Fi. I was like, wow, excuse me.
Look at that.
But it's still dial-up. Dial-up Wi-Fi.
My Geo cities.
Right.
My Netscapes.
How you say Angel Fire?
Angel Fire.
Fire. So I walk in and I see the GM, okay, Pierre, and he walks over and I go, hey, hi. Now this is where it gets interesting. I go, listen, I'd like to 4 for dinner, please. I said, but, and I don't have it. You have to wear a jacket in the club. You have to wear a sport coat.
Sure.
Okay. And that was one of the reasons, by the way, I was getting disenchanted with the club because it annoyed me that every time I wanted to go there, I'd have to dress like I'm going to my grandmom's, like I was just like, I wear fucking, gotta get dressed up to like, so you couldn't, so the idea that I had of just spontaneously, like just going in there was predicated on the idea that I have
to be wearing at least a blazer,
right? Or tuxedo pants. And no shirt,
just a cummerbund.
Yeah,
t-shirt, jeans, and a cummerbund.
Right, one of those t-shirts that looks like a tuxedo on the front of it.
Yes, that's it. I feel like that's the kind of place where they might have you could keep one in a locker or something.
That's exactly what it was. So Pierre goes, "Not to worry, Brian," and they go over to coat check and they just pull out this blue sport coat, and it's like made of polyester, and it has the Friars Club crest on the front of it. And I put this thing on, and we go in and we have dinner. And it was fine. No problem. Great. And we leave. And when I leave, I realize I had forgotten my shoulder bag in the dining room. So we all get back outside and I go, fuck, I don't have my jacket. Oh, shit. So I run back in and I go into the dining room not wearing a jacket.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I guess I get it. But the maitre d', who's a Spanish guy, comes over to me in front of a half-filled dining room and starts yelling at me.
Yeah.
Like he's full on yelling at me. Like, listen, you new members, you can't come in here with the dress code. It's been, I mean, fucking dressing me down. Like, and I turned to him. I'm like, all right, I fucking get it. Like, cut it out. Like, all right.
I'm just grabbing my bag. I'm not here to.
Yeah. Like, I guess I should have. Sorry, I didn't put on a wedding dress. So I said to the guy, I was like, look, fucking forget it. Like, whatever. And I was like, I was embarrassed. The whole thing was like, like he called me out like I was a little kid with my hand in the cookie jar or something.
Sure.
So I leave, I go outside, and I was so mad. I go to my friends. I'm like, fucking guy in there, fucking made it stupid mother. So I'm hopping mad about it. And at the time,
he wanted you to stop at the coat check, get the blazer, put it back on, and then go get your
apparently
10 paces,
something like that. Yeah. So so the next day,
your shoulder bag.
I'm still steaming about this.
Sure.
So
the Irish Alzheimer's.
Oh, never forget a grudge. That's right. So. And I was actually the next day I had to go to, and again, I'm going to name drop here, Cleveland, Ohio, because I was helping my old boss, Steve, open a hustler club in the flats in Cleveland, Ohio.
Nice.
So I was spending a lot of time at the Intercontinental Hotel in downtown Cleveland, and I had to go out there. So the next day I'm in Cleveland, and I'm like going around doing promotional shit, driving around Cleveland with this driver, and I call the Friars Club, and I get Pierre on the phone. And I tell him, I'm like, do you hear what happened last night? And he's like, I think the guy's name is Armando. He was like, yes, I heard.
Two most stereotypical.
Well, I'm telling you, I think
names. I love it.
It started with
and Armando.
I know Pierre and Armando and Pepe. I think his name was Pepe. Right. No, I swear to God, it was something with an A. But anyway,
I hope it was Armando.
You and me both. So his last name was El Guapo. Armando El Guapo. So,
I know the guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Right, exactly. Owns a tortilla factory in El Paso. But the other El Paso, the one that's in Mexico.
It's like ethnic Mad Libs.
It really is. That's funny. So anyway, so I call the guy and I'm like, you heard what happened? And he was like, yes, I heard what happened. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Brian.
Brian, what can I do for you?
I'm so sorry.
Please do not quit the club. What is your pronoun? Are your shoes gay? I'm like, why, do you have a time machine?
What the fuck?
I know, right? In a couple of, you're right. So anyway, so he says, like, are you, and I said, listen, I got to be honest with you. I'm pretty mortified by all of this. And I don't really know how to move forward. And, I like coming there, but frankly, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, what if I called you back with him and he apologized? Ooh. And I was like,
that's just more uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, but
right. Because I don't think you're the type of, I would not necessarily want that.
No,
because that doesn't erase how awkward it was. Do you know what I mean? Like some people have that kind of wiring where they're like, yeah, you did it. You made good. You made amends. Sure.
Well, especially back then.
You made it right.
But I didn't, I feel like I was on the spot a little bit. And I said, okay, sure.
Okay.
And he goes, all right, well, I have your number. We'll call you this afternoon, blah, blah, blah. So about like an hour.
This is on the phone?
Oh, yeah.
Conference call?
An hour later, speakerphone. An hour later, because the guys, they're like working. They're in the club. Armando is, obviously, lint rolling the jackets
dressing
or something.
People down.
Yes, he's squeezing. He's making butter flowers in the back.
Clearly takes his job very seriously.
Yes. Hey, this guy come in, probably telling all the busboys, this guy come in with no jacket on. I said, hey, fuck you, man. Then he yelled at me. I yelled at him.
You think he bragged to the other guys about it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The chef. Hey, I tell him, no, it's no good for here, man. Anyway, so they call back. Pierre, hello, Brian. It's Pierre. I have Armando here. Hello. Listen, Mr. McCarthy. And it was like it was like they had like a fucking gun in his head.
Right.
Mr. McCarthy, I want to apologize. And I was like, look, it's okay. I'm like, but like you wouldn't have done that to anybody else. And,
oh, you feel like that's what.
Well, what I mean is like, he wouldn't have gone up to like, if a 70-year-old guy or, right. If you remember, you're a member. That's it. Full stop. You know what I mean? So he goes, I go, you should have, look, I'll accept the apology. Sure. Fine. But at the same time, like, it's embarrassing. You did it in front of a room full of people that I don't know. And now every time I go to the dining room, I'm going to be like,
well, because you could easily do that very quietly.
Do what very quiet? Oh, the guy.
He did. He could have gone, hey, I can't have you.
A million.
I've done that 1,000 times working in the service industry. Hey, I can't. You can't bring a dog in, or you can't. You know what I mean? You're always very. That's there's a person that hates giving bad news, and there's a person that likes it.
Hey, your cock's out.
I hate it.
Your cock is out. Your cock's out. And it's hard. It's hard as a rock. Yes. I mean, exactly right. He made a spectacle of it. And he made it and of me. Right. He could have and that's exactly what I said. I actually said that. Oh, look, I'm remembering.
Oh my God.
I actually said that to him.
Kiss me.
Yeah, exactly. And I said to the guy, Armando, I said, you could have just taken me because there's like big stairs. I mean, could you take me under the stairs? You could have said, hey, Mr. McCarthy, let me grab your bag for you, the dining room, the jacket, blah, blah, blah. And I would have been like, okay, sorry about that. No problem. But you didn't have to like pull me out on the carpet and
make a spectacle.
J'accuse, and so then he goes, I'm sorry. And then out of nowhere, he goes, my wife is leaving me. And I went, sorry? And he goes,
oh, so he's on edge.
Yes. He goes, my wife is leaving me.
Something.
I'm under a lot of pressure.
My
and
wife is leaving.
And he starts to like get like a little weirdly choked up.
Okay.
And it was almost like we had gotten through the apology and now we were like buddies. And he goes, my wife is leaving me and I don't know what to do. And you come in, we said, no, sleeves. My wife loves sleeves.
You remind me of, you look like the man that she left me for. Right. He never wore a jacket.
Yes. If you only had a jacket on, then maybe she would be with me.
Right.
This
is really like, this is like this really is out of Seinfeld.
It really is.
Like when they got the fucking waiter fired for, I'll never eat here again. Like this is out of that episode. That's 1,000,000%.
So
my wife is leaving.
Yes.
That does actually kind of explain somebody being a bit on edge and maybe overreacting though. Like if he's going through some stuff, it would be hilarious if this is like the 10th time that he's pulled. He said his wife was leaving him.
Like my dog. Like my dog ate my homework.
Exactly. Like every fucking time he has to apologize on a speakerphone,
or like on the way home from work, he like knocks into somebody on the street and ends up banging their head against a light post and killing them.
Yes,
Your Honor, my wife is leaving me.
I'm sorry, I'm just going through some shit.
Yeah. Aren't you gay? Well, yeah, but I called him my wife, and he left me to go get some cigarettes. I don't know why he now sounds French, but so he goes, my wife is leaving me, and I went, oh, all right, well, listen, and then he goes, and you have to understand. And he started talking, and literally Pierre went, okay, Armando, well, thank you so much. And
wow,
we'll just get you. And
wow,
and it was
thank you so much. He plays them off with them.
Yeah, right.
Sure, you gotta go.
You have to go.
Here you go, like cucaracha.
Yeah. He pulls them off, and then I'm like there, and
Armando.
And it's kind of like, and there's a strained silence, and Pierre and I are on the phone, and I didn't know what else to say. So I went, yeah, I think I'm done here. I said, okay, it's fine. I said, don't worry about it. I said, it seems like there's a lot going on there.
I do feel like, because I'm like you in that when there's a real awkward thing, and I feel like I got, you feel like you got dressed down and it was sort of unwarranted. Like I would be similarly, I would not really want to go back. However, I do feel like when the guy sort of breaks down and is like, I was very stressed out. My wife is leaving me, we got kids, and like that actually would make me weirdly feel more comfortable. Be like, all right, this guy's kind of like,
he's like, my wife,
we're almost like even now.
My wife, she got lupus. You're like, lupus? It really seems, if you're lying, it's a very, so anyway, yeah, listen, I understand, but at the same time, the fact that the idea of like the half full dining room is what, like, I don't need a bunch of people holding their napkins up, whispering, oh, there's old short sleeves.
Yeah. You wonder though, because I mean, I would say the majority of people that would see that would kind of be like, yeah, think it was a little uncalled for, and they'd probably be more on your side than his,
probably.
Right? Our buddy James O'Sullivan, he says, can we get Friars Club story for Cool Cat? I think he must be chipping us because that you just told it. So this was just a minute ago.
Just come on back. Yeah, you can.
Do you want to hear it again, James?
That'll.
You can hit rewind if you want to hear it again.
That will infuriate somebody. I don't know, but anyway. So to finish the whole thing up, Pierre goes, okay. Well, he goes and he says to me, he goes, how about this? He goes, why don't we put your membership on hold?
Freeze the membership.
And when you want to come back, it's always open. Goes, but I understand. He was a really nice guy. Idea. And then I guess I was on hold. And then to be honest with you, I just completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then that was it. So maybe I technically, and then over the years, I mean, it's a long time ago.
I might technically still be a friar.
Right. Exactly. I wonder if I can carry a concealed handgun on planes. Like, sir, you're having a gun. Don't worry. Look at this. I'm a friar. This is given me by Freddie Roman. He's been dead for 40 years. But
James said, sorry, I came in late. Sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry.
But he said, who's hard?
You are.
This guy gets it.
Yeah, it's fucking all day long.
James, welcome home. Because you fit in. Fit in
guns blazing.
Well here.
Yeah. Like a 9/11 terrorist just right into the building. So anyway, so that's what happened. So I left. And now what you had mentioned over COVID, apparently the club, because you walk by it, it's still there. I'm sure it's landmarked.
Yeah, right. Seems like it would be.
Yeah. And if you walk past it, there's a big fucking Marshall sign on the door. And they owe like, $700 billion in taxes.
For a second, it sounded like it became a Marshall's. The big Marshall sign.
It's a Marshall's.
The big Marshall sign because it's a Marshall's now. Oh, it's a sign that says
seized, blah, blah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so embarrassing for the Friars.
I don't know. Apparently, because I remember when it happened, it made the as we call it, the trades, So and I remember like thinking like, oh wow.
Well, I mean, I would assume, I guess I just assumed somebody that was part of it owned the building, owned the place. So I just didn't see them having like back rent or something.
Why don't you do me a favor? Would you please just Google
look it up?
Like
what happened?
Just why did the Friars Club in New York City close? Because
curious myself.
Yeah, I am remembering that it was closed because of the back taxes. That's what I thought it was.
Oh, back taxes. Okay.
Yeah. Like millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. So
but during COVID
they didn't have.
Oh boy. Oh, somebody.
Oh my God! Sorry, that's my phone. It's talking. Sorry.
Brian is texting you. Let's see. Friars Club.
By the way, while I have a minute here, October 28th, Laugh for Sight at the Gotham Comedy Club. You can just Google Laugh for FORSIGHT. Stan Natterman, Michael Vecchione, TJ Miller, Katie
Thomas
Hannigan.
John Miller.
Yep. Tija. I thought his name was Tija.
Catherine Hannigan.
Yeah. I thought his name was Tija Miller. I didn't know it's a TJ. Tija Miller?
Miller.
Tija Miller. So that's what's happening. So if you want to come on the 28th, it's a benefit for blind people. It's all tax deductible. So it's a total write-off. So if you want to come, I think I'm not going to sit here and say, I think we're going to sell it out, but I think we are going to sell it out. So we'll see.
Oh, a loan company has moved to foreclose on the club after it missed payments on a $13 million mortgage.
Okay. That sounds about right.
Okay. Judge and a federal judge is mulling whether to appoint an outside company to take over the Friars Club 6-story townhouse on 55th Street.
Yeah.
They back the mortgage. I was going to say, I was like, I feel like they would own it. I didn't think it would back rent, but back mortgage.
Who knows? Because I know that the Friars Club has been around since
wasn't paid off, I guess,
since the late 19th century, and they were. I know that they were like really hemorrhaging members for a while, but and what's funny about that is right across the street from the Friars Club, in a brand new, one of these huge skyscrapers, is a place called the Level Club, and the Level Club, the buy-in for the Level Club, I'm pretty sure is $100,000, and it's like one of these like tech bro. Clubs, like you
can pay in crypto,
sommelier for lunch, and every towel is a panda.
Sure.
Is this my
every towel is a panda? Every towel is living.
Yeah,
every towel has a pulse.
Every towel is a panda. Boy, you want to be depressed. I just read an article in the New York Times about how in China they have panda breeding farms.
Yeah, I heard pandas don't want to fuck.
No,
Like they can't get them to breed.
Yeah.
So well, they got to like
so
put on. They put on D'Angelo.
Yeah, they put it. Yeah, want some more brown sugar?
Yeah.
They well, I saw pictures. If you ever want to like just completely be depressed, look up like Panda Breeding Farm and just a pic. Let's change the background. But yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing where you look at it and you're like, oh my God, this is just so depressing. It's these poor little pandas in these cages, and they're just, why don't they? Of course they don't. They should put them in one of those.
Why they don't want to have sex?
They should put them up in one of those resorts up in the Poconos.
The Poconos, yeah, one of those big champagne glass,
hot tub, right? Exactly.
That gets me hot.
Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
It gets me so hot. Yeah, we should click over to the members only. Hey, if you want to become a member, right at the top of the chat, become a member. It's $5 a month. You get a bonus show. It's like half hour. Sometimes we do an extra hour.
Yeah, we have time today.
And it gets more scintillating behind the beaded curtain.
Not to tickle your ass with a feather, but I have a really good story I don't think I've ever told you. And I just earlier today, I was like, what the hell am I going to talk about? And I just remembered this. So I think this is a good one. So yeah, become a member. And if you're listening on Patreon, thank you. Stay with the Patreon. Join the Patreon if you like, because
yeah, you can do Patreon too if you want to just you want the archives.
And then and then one more thing before we jump over. I follow Gallagher's on Instagram, and they're making a big swing for the bleachers. They just sent out a big promo like graphic design invite for their Halloween party.
Ooh,
I know. And
exciting.
Halloween party, and it says on the bottom, Gallagher's largest upscale gentlemen's club in New York. I'm like, wow.
What kind of metrics? Their square footage, maybe?
But if you
it is pretty big.
It's weirdly a huge club. And especially if you count the cum stains on the ceiling, because it adds square footage. It's all right.
It's like putting a mirror. It really, it's expansive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's like when like in a Donald Trump building, he would count the square, the square feet from when you left the elevator to the door. Fucking asshole. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We're going to jump over to the bonus show. So we'll see you. Thank you, Ovio. Thank you, James. We'll see you guys later.